YouTube? This is All Things Quick. We're back with another video, and we had to end the last video somewhat abruptly again, just because if I kept going it would have been way too long. This one we're just getting this subframe back up onto the chassis and getting the steering column and everything connected again so that we can slap some wheels on this and roll it back into the parking spot where it was before. That's the order of business for this episode. We're not going to be getting at that car for a little bit here. We're just going to be sticking with dealing with this one for the time being and kind of cleaning this up and getting this all together in here. This looks like a mess to me, so we'll get it all cleaned up and organized, then we'll go from there. So I just gotta get this subframe back on. Just gonna jack this thing up, get it up lined up with the bolts, and then I'm gonna bolt it back together. So when I was pulling this motor out, I actually bent this power steering line like real good, so that's junk. You can see right there that bend is kinked. So we're gonna have to use the power steering high pressure line from this car if it is any good. If not, I'll just order one and then swap out a new part in that. Also, I cleaned up these threads with a wire wheel on the end of a drill. I always use anti-seize on every single bolt that I use because those were difficult to come out, and every bolt that goes back in is going to be cleaned up and anti-seize is going to be put on it so that next time when we take it apart and take it out, we're not going to be stripping bolts, we're not going to be stripping threads and doing all that nonsense. So it's going to be easy for the second time around. Also, I decided at one point when I have time, I'm going to rent a power washer and I'm going to have at this engine bay here because I did a little brake cleaner on this and it looks way nicer. So I'm gonna clean all of this stuff up with a power washer when I have some time someday. Anti-seize takes all of 3 seconds to put on each thing, and it saves you so much in the long run. If you don't do it, you should start for sure. Like, I don't know why you would want to stress yourself out with rusty old bolts and stuff when you could just do this. Just for an example, my compressor had to basically restart and refill when I was taking these off because I was using so much air to get these off. Now putting these back on, done. That's it. With a little bit of cleaning and anti-seize, like totally worth it. So I just got this one and this one on here. That's for the control arm. Now I'm just working at getting this top part on, and then I'm just gonna repeat the other side. It's just, you gotta jack up the subframe a little bit just to make these level. A little difficult, but I mean, with that anti-seize, it's really making for some easy work. So I just got these two control arm ones back on. Had to actually find different bolts from one of my old E46s to be able to put on there because I lost one. So I got those two on. So this side's good and tied up. It's just the subframe bolts that need to be on. So there's 2 subframe bolts there and 1 subframe bolt right there. So I'm gonna do the control arms on the driver's side first, and then I'm gonna go and bolt this whole subframe together. Okay, so I just got these 2 bolts on this driver's side control arm. Now I'm going for the top ones. So I was just trying to get this thing in place, and I was hitting it with a hammer just to try to get these bolts lined up. If you're doing that, that's definitely something you might have to do. So now we can just try to blast these in. Yeah, that's the power of anti-seize. Just goes in so smooth, man. I love it. So if I filmed this whole thing, you guys would have been watching me for like 15 minutes do this stupid thing, but I'm jacking the subframe up at the same time as trying to line up this steering column. Not an easy task to do it. There we go, it just sunk in. Then you gotta put this bolt back in the other side. It's just a difficult thing because you need both hands to do that for sure. So this is an E10 Torx. Goes. It was just slightly off. Okay, there we go. Now that's tight. Now I'm just jacking the subframe up into place. Hopefully I can get a bolt in. Oh my god. Wow. Holy. Okay, so I just put 1 bolt in there just to hold it, and it's not even in all the way, so I'm gonna try to get the other ones in. So I just got that subframe up. I had to put my knees underneath it to lift it up because I don't have another jack. So the subframe bolt here. And then she's in. So I put my jack from the front into the back now, and I jacked it up so then I could line these holes up because it's impossible with the amount of tension that this thing has as a square subframe opposed to something else like crazy. So Alright, so I got my subframe back on, control arms are back on. This was a task and a half, but anyways. It's all bolted back together now, which is nice, so I can slap some wheels back on this thing and I can roll it backwards so then I can put it back in that space. This motor, I'm not going to get to this tonight. That will have to be in another day. Fun fact, if you want to fix a tire that's leaking and has a hole in it, just slap some gasket maker in it and put a Phillips in there. Good to go. But don't drive like this. This is just for now so I can roll the car back. One side done. Wheels are done. Okay, I'm all done this. I'm just gonna drop this car down now. There we go, so flat she sits on the ground there. Oh man, I'm telling you, that was so much work, that's unreal. Stupid amount of work to do that. Man, it's unreal. I need to zip tie that drive shaft up there or something, or I don't know what to do. Bolt it up, something. So we're gonna keep this video short and we're gonna move on to the next one. We're gonna move on to the motor and the transmission in a different video. So for now, we're just gonna leave it at that with this all getting tied up in the bottom end here of the subframe and the control arms and all that. Putting it back together. This means that this one is done for now. I'm gonna push this back in the spot where it needs to go. We're gonna get at this transmission and stuff the next time, like I said. So that's the end of the video. If you like that video, definitely give it a thumbs up if it helped you, or if you like this type of content, share it with a friend, get them interested in this build. We're doing a whole series on building this engine and swapping out stuff from each of these cars to build a full-on race car. Building the motor, doing all this stuff. If you haven't subscribed, definitely hit that subscribe button so then you'll never miss a video when it's uploaded. And check us out on Discord. Link is in the description. We got a full community of people who build cars and like to modify their own stuff, and people who genuinely just want to know about cars and how to do stuff. So if you like that video, then definitely subscribe for more. So we'll see you in the next one. See you later.